Hi, I'm Aaron Bruto.
Hi, I'm Ben Wise.
So we'd like to talk to you a little bit about model units. But first, we just want to talk about why. Both Ben and I became teachers because we love history. We love reading about it, thinking about it, discussing it. And we want to share some of that excitement, some of that passion with our students. Unfortunately, for many kids, that's a problem because of literacy issues, because of engagement issues, etc. I know many of your teachers, many teachers out there feel the same way. They want to share these things with their students, but they're struggling to do that, to figure out how can they plan units to give their students access to the material. So we have put together a set of documents that will help teachers to plan their own units in ways that can be engaging and lead to successful PBATs. So what goes into a model unit? First, good questions. Ben and I would argue that a good question is one that is open-ended and controversial in some way, and also one that engages students immediately in the content. So for example, was the US justified in dropping an atomic bomb on Japan at the end of World War II? This is a very controversial topic. Kids are going to be immediately hooked in. You know, it's moral in many ways. They're going to be drawn in. Next, any good unit needs good sources and good activities that are going to enable students to answer those questions. So, for example, a good source might be John Hersey's Hiroshima, in which he describes the effects of the dropping of the bomb on Hiroshima. That's important because a document like that is going to enable students to answer the question, but also to develop new ideas and more nuanced questions about this very focused topic. Finally, we get to the PBAT. Once students have done those activities, they will be in a good place to answer some of those more nuanced questions that they've developed and write about them. But because they've developed their own questions, they will be more engaged in the process and in the hard work of answering those questions and putting them into writing. So we feel that these are one of the important, one very important way that teachers can learn to plan so that students are engaged and able to successfully complete the PBAT. Ben is going to discuss a little bit about what's in the binder.
So in this binder, what we've done is we've created a chart. And the online version of this chart is going to be interactive and linked to specific documents, questions, assignments, and units. But basically what we have here, and we have organized these according to some topics that many teachers might choose to use, such as constitutional rights, social movements, slavery, Civil War, Reconstruction, and there are other units on other pages. But under each of these units, you will find model essential questions. The idea here, again, is to model what goes into a good essential question. As Aaron said, something that is going to engage students in historical or legal controversy and or push students to have to synthesize multiple explanations of historical events. So you'll see on the matrix a variety of samples of essential questions that do that. The second thing are models of text-based inquiry units with either a debate or an essay or some other form of text-based assessment as an end product. And once again, these are designed to be models that teachers can look at to see if I were planning a unit and I wanted to come up with an assessment that would be inquiry-driven and would help scaffold towards the skills that students will need for their PBATs, what are some examples of that? And so that's what they would find on this level of the chart. And again, there are interactive links to that on the site. Then we have some examples of individual lessons. Again, lessons that help students, that help scaffold the inquiry process and also support students with literacy when they are engaging with these texts. And then finally, we have some examples of model PBA, PBAC questions. Again, the purpose here is not to give students questions necessarily that they would have to use, but rather to model for teachers what are examples of questions that once again will engage students in a specific topic, but with open-ended inquiry. So focused around a controversy, focused around synthesizing an event. So an example might be, was Abraham Lincoln an abolitionist? Or did Watergate represent a triumph or a failure of our constitutional system of checks and balances? And what we hope is that teachers will be able to look through these various models and use them to develop their own curriculum in ways that will support student inquiry. Thank you.
Thank you.